Hey, what's up, bootstrappers? This is another Motivational Monday. All right, got some motivation for you. So, I was just got done talking to some of my coaching students, and it brought up something that I think is missing in this game. And then what happens is when you're brand new and you're unsure and you're not confident in your ability and your ability to close and your ability to actually draft the proper contract and know your numbers, you lack this confidence, and this confidence it falls apart all over the place. Hey, what's up, Glenn? So let me give you an example. When I first got started, I would go and I would walk a property, and I didn't know what the heck I was doing. And so what I was taught was like, hey, if you don't know your numbers, if you don't know what to do, go back home and like rework stuff out, like try to figure it out. And so what I would do, be like, okay, I see a house, I walk the property, I talk to the seller, and I'm like, okay, yeah, I need to go back home and I need to go ahead and, run my numbers on this. And that's like a common phrase, like I'm going to go back and run my numbers. And what I found out is that my inability to actually know my numbers when I go to the property, like when I'm talking to the seller, is opening myself up to lose a deal. And this actually happened to me. So I went, I looked at a property, I saw it on a Thursday. And I told a gal, I'm like, yeah, here's kind of like my offer, but I'm not really sure. I need to go back and really run my numbers to make sure. And so I threw out this soft number to her. And the next day I go back, and this time I'm with my quote unquote contractor. He's actually the guy that I was going to assign the contract to, who was going to buy it. And he walks through, he's like, man, I love this house. This is a great house. Let's go across the street and talk about the numbers. And so we tell her like, hey, we need to go talk about the numbers because we don't quote unquote have our numbers down right. And so we go across the street, there's a little park, and we're sitting on the park bench, we're running the numbers, we're like, man, it's a good deal, yeah, we're going to do this, yeah, we're going to do that. And he came in $10,000 higher than where I was at. So we go back, and in the meantime, this little old man like drove up, walked inside the house, walked out, and we go and we knock on the door, and the seller comes to the door, and she's like, I'm sorry, guys, I already sold the property. And I'm like, what? She's like, yeah, that man came, he knew his number, he told me the number I wanted, it was higher than the one you said. I'm like, but we're higher now, we ran our numbers, we're higher. And she's like, I'm sorry, I sold it, the house is gone. I was so dejected, I literally felt like crying. I was like, oh my gosh, here I am, buyer in hand with no contract. I was like, damn dude, I lost this deal because I didn't know my numbers, because I wasn't confident in my ability to present an offer. And what happened was, because I wasn't confident in my ability, she wasn't confident in me. So when you're confident in your numbers, you're going to give a confident offer. What's up, Molly? And when you give confident offers, the seller's going to have confidence that you're going to do what you say you're going to do, and you're going to close when you say you're going to close. That's what it comes down to. But if you lack this confidence, it falls apart across the board. And fortunately, I was able to salvage that deal, because that, even though that investor came to the table or was there and presented a number and stuff like that, I was able to present enough doubt in his offer, because this guy needed cash like immediately, and he was going to do a 30-day close, and he was going to sell it, like he was going to try to wholesale it. So I presented enough doubt in this guy's offer, because it wasn't going to help her, that she needed cash right then and there, that we were going to close in like 4 days. And we did. We actually took it back and we closed. She canceled escrow with the guy. Actually, he never even opened up escrow. She waited 5 days. The guy never opened escrow because he couldn't find someone to take it. Yeah, bro, it sucks, Ty. It totally sucks, man. And so what happened, we ended up getting it. It was a great deal, I mean, at the end. But I learned a valuable lesson. And I coached with a guy earlier last year. Some of you guys may know him. Happened to you last year. It was a big opportunity. I know, Glenn, that's the worst part, man. When you get these paydays, you're like, mentally you're cashing the checks. Like, this was right before Christmas, by the way. So I had mentally like cashed the check for my kids, Christmas presents and everything. And I mean, this actually leads itself to like an actual bigger problem, is if all you have is 1 or 2 deals that you're dependent on, and if you don't get those deals and things fall apart, then you have a lot larger problems to deal with. And it's a marketing issue. It comes down to not having enough leads to fill your pipeline that you can actually fall back on, like, hey, you know what? I buy some and some I don't. I can't buy them all. But if that's like your only one and you're desperate for it, then yeah, it's like a gut shot, man. Like, and that's what it was for me. That was a gut shot. I was like, oh man, this sucks so bad. I was going to spend that money. We're going to have a great Christmas and all of the above. But it ended up being, like I said, it worked out to our advantage that we got it back. But when I coached with a guy. He was my coach. His name is Quentin Flores. And one of the things that I learned from Quentin was that you don't need to know your numbers. Like you don't need to count all the sockets. You don't need to know how many windows and doorknobs you're replacing and all this stuff. I'll just share with you what I'm doing in my market based on what I learned from him was basically have what's called a rent ready number. So you take the square footage of the property and you multiply that by what it's going to take to get the property rent ready. New faucets, new light covers, stuff like that, new carpet, new paint. What does it take to get rent ready? And then what you're doing is you're going to walk around the property and you're going to look at 5 different things. You're going to look at the foundation, you're going to look at the roof, you're going to look at the electrical, the plumbing, and the HVAC. And if you can walk through the property and see that those 5 things are either need repairs or they don't need repairs, you're going to add an additional fee on top of that. And I'm not going to go ahead and give a secret. We have a system for that. That's what we do. But I learned this from Quentin. It was a great, man. He shared a lot of nuggets. And so I now walk properties and with confidence, I know, okay, you know what? This HVAC's shot and this is that. So I take my rent ready number and the HVAC and maybe the plumbing or whatever it is, add that to it, and on the spot, on the fly, I got a contract. And so when I go to my appointments right now, I have all my contract that's completely filled out. The only thing that's blank is the actual purchase price. And that's when I'm sitting there and I'm negotiating with that person. It's like, okay, I'm getting this purchase price with that person right there on the spot. So I'm not going to go back and run my numbers, because I've actually gone to investors sellers who are like, oh yeah, this he hasn't got back to me. It's been 3 days. I haven't heard back from him. He says he's running his numbers, whatnot. I'm like, I don't need to run my numbers. This is the price. There's no haggle. I know exactly what I'm doing and I can close on time. And by me having confidence in my numbers and being able to give a confident offer, I've now educated that seller that, man, I know what I'm talking about. I'm a professional and they can have confidence in me that I'm going to be able to close and give them what they need. It might not be the exact number that they want. I might be lower, but there's confidence in knowing that I'm going to deliver on that number. That's right, Ty. So that's exactly how I do it, guys. I'm telling you what, it's a difference. It's a total game changer when you go out and you're actually presenting your offers, especially if you're brand new. If you can have confidence in your numbers, you're going to definitely have confidence in those offers that you go ahead and you give to those guys. And all it takes is for you to deliver these offers with confidence, to have the seller to have that confidence, instilled in you as well, or to trust your confidence that you can actually perform on it. So, all right, guys, it's a Monday morning. Get out there, make some deals, go out there and just crush it. I'll see you guys later. Just remember, you're one deal away from changing your entire financial future. Just one.